Hey guys, I'm RetroMoments here, and welcome to this Super Famicom special hunt. We are going to check out several stores here in Akamon, and let's start with Mandarake here. We're going to check the most expensive Super Famicom games, and games that are worth playing, games that are a little bit cheaper, and so on. So not that many games in here, but usually they go for quality over quantity. So you get games in really good condition, and maybe some more interesting titles in here, you know. Shooting collection, 1,800 yen, and the Donkey Kong Country games, and Rockman X, 2,000 yen, a little bit more expensive than what I usually see it for, probably because it's all in really good condition, you know. Let's see what we got back here. Some more Donkey Kong games. Breath of Fire 2, Chrono Trigger. Yeah, but let's take a look at this here. Doesn't look perfect, but it looks very close to perfect. And yeah, 1,000 yen is pretty good. You can get it for less money, but that usually means that the condition is not as good. Well, let's go to Super Potato and check out some rare and expensive games. Not sure why they're running. So Mandarake is very close to Super Potato. We got Super Potato right in front of us. So all the stores here are very close to each other. So that's really good if you want to compare the prices. You want to buy at the cheapest price. And right when you get into Super Potato, you turn left and you got all the most expensive Super Famicom games here. Ghost Chaser Densei here, a beat 'em up game that was never released outside Japan. Very good game. I enjoyed it a lot. Phalanx, and we got Hyperia, Majuo, and yeah, lots of interesting titles here. And some cartridges down here as well. Doremi Fantasy. I bought it for around 5,000 yen, I think. But that was 4 years ago, and now it's up in 14,000 yen. Wild Guns, it's expensive everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's PAL, US or Japanese. 21,000 yen. It's around $200. Kikai Kai, 14,000 yen. Lots of Super Famicom games back here. So let's see what we got. I can spot a Super Metroid. And yeah, Super Metroid went up lately here. It's pretty crazy. You could see it for around 5,000 to 7,000 yen 3-4 years ago. We also got Psycho Dream there, which is a pretty good platform run and gun game. 30,000. Only came out in Japan. It's a strange game, but it's also very fun in my opinion. And we got Macros Scrambled Valkyrie there in the middle. An amazing shoot 'em up game for the SNES or a Super Famicom. Incredibly fun. Just as good as Axley in my opinion, which is also a really good one. And let's continue here. And it's a little dark in the back, but lots of cool titles there as well, just like Go-Go Akamon, 21,000 yen. Umehara Kawase, 14,000. And we got some more on the top here. Poponian, great platformer. But yeah, I don't even want to mention the price of it. It's really expensive. And Mr. Nuts, very expensive in Japan, but pretty cheap in Europe actually. And let's see, what else do we have here? We got more games down here. Soul Blader, which is Soul Blazer in Japan. And I can see Hagane there, 32,000, which seems to have stabilized a bit. Not such a huge price increase as I would think. Final Fight Tusk, which is Final Fight 3 in Japan. And we also got Sutta Hakun, which is an amazing puzzle game, 32,000 yen. And of course, Rendering Ranger, 109,000. And probably the most expensive Super Famicom game there is. And some Super Famicom consoles, of course. A complete in-box Super Famicom, 4,300 yen. Doesn't look perfect, but it looks, you know, bearable. And here we have a complete one in box, looks pretty good. 5,400, that doesn't seem like a bad price actually for this. So that's pretty cool. Now I haven't seen the inside of it, but you know, from the outside looks good. And some more accessories here. Oh, I totally forgot about this one. This is the HSJ12 by Hori. It's made in metal, and this is the ultimate stick for Super Famicom. The Capcom stick, absolutely it's good, but a little bit plastic. This is the real deal if you want one arcade stick for the Super Famicom. And you can also get it complete in box for 5,480. Here's the XC1 SFC, which is also a stick that is pretty good. And some more boxed Super Famicoms in here. This one looks amazing as well, but for some reason it's 14,000. So it's all gonna depend on how the inside looks, which you can't check. But if you ask the staff to check it, you can of course do so. And not to forget the Super Scope, awesome Super Scope, 3,800 yen. Pretty cheap everywhere in Japan, and that's because it's quite hard to find CRTs here nowadays. And yes, that's it, fully stocked with Super Famicoms here. So if you don't have time to game hunt at Hard Offs or Book Offs, you can always get one here for a decent price. But let's walk over to the other side, where all the complete games are. So here are all the complete games that's not in the showcase. This wall is just as full as last time I saw it, 3-4 years ago. So that's a good thing at least. And we have a complete Contra, 9,800 yen. A little faded, but otherwise it looks pretty good. I would say that that's not a bad price actually. But obviously you could get it cheaper if you look around. And what else do we have here? There are also Super Famicom games here. Bonk's Adventure 2, 4,000 yen. It's a good price considering this was only released in Japan, and it's a great platformer. And what else do we have? Let's see. Super Mario World. Always interesting to look at. 2,800 yen. It's a game that is pretty hard to come by in Europe in its complete form, since it was included with the console. Star Ocean. Love this cover art. 5,400 yen. And the Bomberman games. Here's Bomberman 4, 3,200 yen. And Darius Twin, 3,600 yen. Pretty good shooter, not the best one, but definitely worth playing once. And here we have a fighting game, Samurai Spirits, which is a port of the first Samurai Showdown to Super Famicom. Not the best port in my opinion, but that could be because I'm so used to the original arcade Neo Geo version. But I heard that the Mega Drive version is actually supposed to be a little better. And if we turn around, we can see some controllers. And yeah, good looking Super Famicom controllers, 1,600 yen. And some other accessories. The 4-player adapter that looks like a Bomberman, 2,700 yen. About the same price as I bought it the last time. I think it was 2,000 yen 3 years ago. And here's the Capcom Fight Pad that some people use to play Street Fighter 2 with, since you always want to you know, hold it with your fingers like this, because I use a normal controller and hold it like this anyway, so I mean this one is even more comfortable to use then. And yeah, some more accessories down here. The Hori multi-tap. Here's a complete in box multi-tap, and the classic one that probably most of you have seen. But let's go to the next store. Let's go to Meikoya and let's see what they have when it comes to Super Famicom. And here it is, and you can actually play some Super Nintendo here today, which is Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart, the first one. I'm not gonna play it, just showing you guys that it's possible to play it. So that's nice. Right after the entrance we find the Super Famicom area, and definitely less games than the last time I was here. I mean, just look at that shelf up there, all the way to the side, it was full, and all the games here were stacked too, I think, to the front, kind of. So yeah, and you can also see some holes here. Pretty sure it was all packed before. So let's start with common games here. Actually, the Donkey Kong games have a higher price here even. Condition looks pretty good, but yeah, I don't know, I think that the one in Mandarake was still better, so if you're picky about condition and you need a common game, I would definitely suggest going to Mandarake, since they always put out top-notch games, condition-wise. And Mario World, about the same price here as Super Potato. And another exclusive Japanese title, Mario and Wario, for those of you who have missed it. You're using the mouse to play this game, and you're supposed to make the way for Mario to get into the goal before Wario gets you. Kind of a puzzle game, but it's actually really fun. And I guess these are the more desirable titles here. We got this Kirby Super Deluxe, which has a really cool package of the game. This wooden art here looks awesome. A complete in-box Go-Go Akamon 2, 6,100 yen. Exclusive platform game to Japan, and I'm sure most of you know that. And here we have a shooter that you don't see every day. Parodius, 7,100 yen. And here we have another Contra, and here it's much cheaper actually, but I can definitely tell that the condition is worse than the one in Super Potato. But still, if you're not picky with condition, here you have one for 7,900 yen. Pretty good. The cheapest Contra that I've seen so far, I think it's been around 5,000, but then it was sun bleached, and yeah, the box was not pretty at all. Alright, and here we also have a Super Metroid, 9,900 yen, so a little bit cheaper than Super Potato. Doesn't look perfect, some wear on the edges, but other than that, pretty good. And Darius Twin, a little bit more expensive here. Yeah. And let's go down here and see if there are any interesting titles. Lots of Kirby's here. And do we have any special games here? Muscle Bomber or Saturday Night Slam Master, which is a pretty fun wrestling game actually. You can play 4 players with the multi-tap too. And here we have a boxed SF, yeah, what do you call this? SF memory cassette that you could take to a convenience store and load games on. You could have like 6 or 7 games on it, so it was pretty cool in the 90s, you know, to be able to do that. And yeah, some loose cartridges here. Final Fight, 1,490 yen. World Heroes 2 for 2,400 yen. That seems a little steep to me actually. And down here we have some awesome accessories here, which is according to some people the best arcade stick for Super Famicom, made by Capcom. The Capcom Power Stick Fighter, 2,490 yen, so around 20 bucks. Definitely a good price for the stick. I would think that this is something that would become more expensive as time passes on. And another stick here, which is actually a stick that I had, and I can definitely recommend this one, 2,990 yen. The buttons are a bit plastic, but the stick is absolutely perfect on this one, and it has micro switches too. And yeah, Yoshi's Island, 2,990. I would say that that's actually a little too expensive. But some desirable cartridges here. Some of the more uncommon ones. So let's see. Turtles in Time, 4,590. Super Pang, 3,990. And behind here we have Street Fighter 02, which is Alpha 2 here in Japan. and exclusive game that only came out in Japan for the Super Famicom. Pretty late too, 1998 actually. So yeah, definitely recommended. It's beautiful graphics, tight control, great gameplay. And Castlevania 4, 3,990. That definitely went up since I was here the last time. Super Ninja-kun, 4,990. And Fireman, 3,890 there. But we actually forgot to check out some consoles. And some consoles. Here we have a faded Super Famicom in box, 6,400. And the one that looks much better here is 9,490 yen. So yeah, but it looks really good actually. And there's no fade on it, and 2 controllers. And one more here. And let's see, we also have a loose copy of Dracula X, or Vampire's Kiss as some of you know it as. 7,990, definitely went up like 2,000 yen since the last time I was here. And yeah, let's go and take a look at the showcase here. And there should be some Super Famicom games here. And we have Macross Scrambled Valkyrie, but complete in box, 26,000 yen here. Batman, Mayu. We got the Ninja Warriors again, 64,900. Awesome game, expensive everywhere, doesn't matter which region. Axley, Earthworm Jim, and Magical Quest 3, which features Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. Also only released in Japan actually. So if you like Magical Quest 1 and 2, you should definitely check that one out. And some more games here. We have Rockman X2, which is at 11,900 yen. That seems a little too much actually, but probably because the condition is really good. Super Aleste, which is also a really good shooter. I would say that together with Macross and Axley, probably top 3 for me. Ghost Chaser Densei, 42,900 yen. And some Go-Go Ackman and so on. Also some loose games up here. Ghost Chaser Densei, 13,900. And Kiki Kai Kai Pokken Rocky, 14,900. And not to forget this super awesome gold cartridge from the Japanese Nintendo magazine, I believe in the 90s. That was the winning prize, you know. You're able to buy it here for 59,900. It has quite a story behind it, you know. Looks pretty awesome with the gold. And yeah, I think that's about it for Meikoya. So let's get to the next store. So the next store is actually right here. It's kind of hard to see that they actually have retro games in there, but they do. That has all kinds of things, but lots of anime and manga related stuff, of course. But you are able to find retro games in here too. So let's see. Lots of people out today because it's the Golden Week in Japan, and that means that a lot of people are actually off from their work. Well, here's the section with the retro games and newer games as well. Starting off with the Super Famicom games here. If you got some time to check through, here you can spend some time checking out some cartridges. And yeah, not that many boxed ones as you can see. Feels like there's definitely less boxed games than the last time overall, in my opinion. It's just Super Potato who has the same amount, but pretty much every other store has less boxed games. And I see Raiden Densetsu, which is the first Raiden game. 3,500 yen. Not the best condition, but pretty good price for that game actually. Great shooter. And the Rockman 7, 3,500 yen. Much cheaper than Super Potato and Meikoya, so definitely a great thing to check this store, you know, because they're not a complete video game store. Rockman X2, 3,000 yen. It's a good price, considering the one in Meikoya was real expensive. And Adventure Island, 1,980 yen. Some fade on it, but still good price. And Parodius, 4,950 yen. Definitely a good price. And let's see, should we check some cartridges here? Let's see. Of course there are a lot of common ones, you know. Exhaust teeth, you can find that everywhere, because no one wants to buy it, and all these parlor games, of course. Let's see. Yeah, maybe up here. Yeah, Prime Goal 3, baseball. Yeah, so as you can see, it's almost like someone has been here and picked out the best games already. But you can get a loose copy of Super Mario World for 400 yen. And 3 games in the showcase. Go-Go Akamon, the first one, 9,900, and Super Metroid, 10,800 yen. Loose Super Famicom, 3,300 yen, but a bit yellowed. And here we have a beautiful Super Famicom, complete in box, 6,900 yen. Looks great actually. But let's continue this journey and go to one of my favorite stores, Surugaya. They have a huge selection, and they also have some great prices for being a video game store. So once you enter this area, you are in the Osu market, which not just the tourists like, but Japanese people too, as you can see. So a lot of things going on here. Some amazing food, the arcade, and some great shops. But we are going all the way to Surugaya, which is in the middle of this place, which is a little bit further here. Just have to pass the stores here and the people, if possible, you know. some vending machines with drinks. Don't forget to hydrate, very important. And here of course we got the Taito station. And on the other side there's another entrance, of course. But keep going forward from here and you will get to Surugaya eventually. Here we got ABC Mart selling some shoes, quality shoes. But if you're in for shoes, there are definitely other places that have it cheaper. So one thing to note is that you can definitely get clothes and stuff like that you see here cheaper in other places. It's just that this is the place that people like to go to because of the atmosphere and everything that's around here. But once you hit the cat up there, the lucky cat, it's time to turn to left to Surugaya specialty store that's on the 5th floor with the games. And here it is. So let's see if we can find any Super Famicom stuff in the showcase. One complete Super Famicom up here. 7,400 yen. So yeah, doesn't look perfect, but alright, some wear on the edges. So it's all gonna depend on how the inside looks like. And yeah, before we go to the Super Famicom section, they actually have a junk section. And I think there are some Super Famicom games here, but most likely it's gonna be some very common games, you know. But it's all less than $1, so I mean, Pilot Wings, it's not that bad, you know, if you don't have it. Mario Paint, $1. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the best version of Street Fighter 2 in my opinion. And Super Scope game. And yeah, some complete games here too actually. Super Mario Kart, squeezed box. It says 300 yen here, but if it's here it should be $1 for all of this. And Dragon Ball Z there of course. But let's go to the Super Famicom section, which is right here. But before we do so, here's the junk section for the hard parts. If you like modding and stuff like that, you can actually get a non-working Super Famicom for $3 here. 300 yen. They don't look so good, but you can always, you know, use them for some projects and stuff like that. And another complete in-box Super Famicom, 5,100 yen. Looks pretty good. So as you can see, starts off pretty good here. And Super Metroid, 9,800 yen. Actually really good condition on this one, so that's fun to see. And what else do we have here? We got the Kirby Super Deluxe here again, 3,100, so cheaper here, and condition looks perfect. I can't see much wear on that one. And a complete Pilot Wings, 1,400. Another Neo Geo port for the Super Famicom, Art of Fighting. Pretty cool artwork on that. World Heroes, and here Rockman X2. And here you can find it for 5,000. Quite a difference in prices for for that game if you check all the stores. So remember to always look around before you get to Japan. Don't just buy a game because you see it. If it's kinda common, then you're better off looking around first. If you're out to find some rare games and you come by it, it could be a good thing to pick it up right away then. And a complete Magical Quest 3, 8,000 yen here. And number 2 for 1,400. And Parodius, 5,600. And I see Mother 2 here, Earthbound, 3,200. Final Fight, first one, 4,000 yen. That really went up in price the last few years. Because you could pretty much find it everywhere for about 1,000 yen. Star Fox 1,200, and a Slam Dunk, which is also a Japanese anime. A Link to the Past, very rough condition, but only 1,800 here. But here I can see two of them in better condition. So here it's 3,700. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which has been very cheap for a long time now, 1,700. And Star Ocean again, 2,200 here. And Donkey Kong Country 3, 1,100, looks pretty good. And we also have Fire Emblem here, 2,200. Probably that's cheap because of how many were released, and also tourists are not really buying this unless it's for the collecting purposes only. Another awesome platformer, Super Valleys, 8,600. Not that common actually. And another Darius Twin, 3,700 here. And Tetris Gaiden here, 2,000 yen. Some people say the best Tetris game ever. Here we got Harvest Moon, the Japanese Super Famicom version, 6,100 yen. And some loose cards. So let's see. Loose Super Metroid, 2,300. That's the price that it's up to now. Seems like. And a game that I always recommend that you don't find that often actually, 3,000 yen. Gundam Wing Endless Duel, beautiful fighting game with mecha robots. Go-Go Akamon, first one, 2,300. Loose Aladdin, 1,300. And yeah. And here's the showcase with the Super Famicom games. Rockman X3, 13,800 there, and we got Cotton 100%, a game that I actually have at home, 34,500 yen. It really increased in price the last few years. And Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems, which was a very late game in Super Famicom's era, 32,000 yen. Huge sprites, very beautiful game. Axley, 5,400, not that common here in Japan actually. And the Ghost Chaser Densei, 13,000 here. And Shoplifter 3, quite a common, 8,000 yen, much more common in Europe. And we also have Sonic Blastman 2, 11,500. Great beat 'em up game. And here's an RPG game that I've never seen actually, Ruin Arm. That looks quite interesting. 20,000 yen, so around 200 bucks, less than 200 bucks actually. But it seems like they put the price down a little bit. Still very expensive. Interesting that I've never heard about it. And here's another Squaresoft RPG, 19,500. And not to forget Traverse, Starlight and Peril. So now I am in Surugaya, where there is a book off. So this is basically in the middle of Nagoya. So let's go in and check if book off has better prices. And on the top floor we have book off. And in the showcase here we just have a Super Famicom console, a little yellowed on the top, but otherwise pretty good looking. 2 controllers, 5,400. And over here we have the retro section. So definitely less games than when I was here the last time. But still quite a lot for Super Famicom. We got carts here. And we also got a few boxed games here. So let's see, Bomberman 2, 2,300. Area 88, 6,600. Wow, that must have gone up in price. So let's see, the best Dragon Ball game, I assume 3,200. And Rockman 7 is 5,000 in book off. However, this one is 50% off because it's missing stuff, but you know, 5,000. Huh. That's more expensive than the game stores. So yeah, new times are upon us. But let's see, we got this Bomberman 2 here, 1,800. It's a good price. And Ogre Battle, 1,500. Bleached Super Mario World, 2,700 with 10% off. But we have a prettier one up here, which is of course 2,700. Book off doesn't really care about condition, I've noticed. If something is missing, they'll put a price down, but condition is not a thing here. It's always the same price for every item. Seems like they do care sometimes about the condition, but other times, you know, it can be a cartridge that is, you know, all yellow on the back, and it's still 900 yen, just like a cartridge that would be in better condition, you know. So yeah, and also some interesting games here. Another Fire Emblem game, 3,200. And also Super Chinese World. That's not a game you see every day. Pretty cool. And Yu Yu Hakusho Final, 3,600. Great fighting game, only released in Japan. And of course, can't forget about this one, Godzilla for the Super Famicom. Not the best condition, but bearable. It's a fighting game. I've never played it, so if you know anything about this game, let me know in the comments. But I just noticed another game that is not that common actually. Nangoku Shonen Papua-kun, that I put in my list as a Super Famicom game that was exclusive to Japan that you should definitely play. And 5,900, that's actually a really good price. But not only that, I see a 50% sticker off, and that's because it's name written on the instruction manual, the box down here, and the game. But I mean, 50% off, that's a huge discount. I am definitely buying this. And then we also have an interesting title here, Ani. This is also something you don't see that often. And it's an RPG game, only released in Japan, I'm pretty sure. Some loose carts. Rockman 7, 900 yen. And Kirby, 480. Rockman X2, 1,500 there. And Donkey Kong Country Games, $4. Rockman X, $9. And yeah, lots of Dragon Quest games, about $2. Kirby Superstar, $9. And Yoshi's Island, $4. But yeah, so as you've noticed, the prices are not always the best at Book Off. You could actually find good prices in Surugaya or or Meikoya, or even Super Potato sometimes, depending on the item. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know which console you would like to see next for this special hunt. See you the next time. Thanks for watching.